In order to start taking the textures from Houdini that we've generated in Copernicus into Unreal, we're going to need to put down the ROP image output nodes and then target the specific channels that we want to export. So in order to create these target points that I want to export, I'm going to place null nodes just before the preview material on each of the channels. So this one we're going to call out color. This one we can call out rough. And this one we can call out normal. And of course, out height. Now, I could export each of these as its own individual texture, but the convention nowadays in games is to pack grayscale maps together. So what I'm going to do here then is we're going to take the output of the rough and of the height, and we're also going to go ahead and grab the ambient occlusion. And we're going to make a new 3-channel image out of these. So we're going to say channel join. And we're going to use the occlusion roughness height convention, ORD, as it can be known sometimes. So we're going to say occlusion goes into the red channel, roughness goes into the green, and then the height goes into the blue. Okay. So this is now our combined 3-channel masks texture, and we can export this one first. So I'm going to bring this ROP image output node down here, and you'll see that in the parameters for this node we have a cop path, which is going to be this channel join. So we can call this the ORD texture. Now we need to name the output image and pick a location to export it. So I'm quite happy with the current location inside of the cops demo folder. So I'm going to leave this as it currently is. And I'm going to leave the hip name as well. Actually, no, I'm going to call this one sort of cracked, or yeah, T underscore cracked dirt ORD. And we can get rid of these other strings. And I want to save these images as PNG format. I'm not going to worry about any color space conversions right now. We can come back and check those later. I'm going to hit render to disk. Now I can copy this ROP image and I can pull the normal into the cop path for this one. We can say crack dirt out normal. And we can do the same for the color. Crack dirt out color. And once we've done these 3 things, we can go ahead, select all of them at the same time, and hit render to disk. Now in order to find them, I can click this little file chooser, right-click expand path, and then I can open a little Windows Explorer, and we can go ahead and find these files. And there we have it. Now, upon exporting these to disk, it's become apparent to me that I've made a mistake, which is that I've only made the base color tile and I haven't worried about making the normal tile. And that was also why we're actually seeing some visible seams in this geometry when I was multiplying the UV scale. So if we go ahead and have a little look, we can see we get these straight lines. So let's go ahead and deal with that before, and we'll re-export before we go to Unreal. So just like we did with the color, I'm going to make a little bit of space here and start to group these nodes. So this is the baking step, and this is the kind of cross that we're creating for the make it tile. And then this here is the make it tile function. And we can just move this all off to the side for now. So we don't need to recreate the sort of blending information. They can both use the same cross to blend. So we just need to create this little patch of network here, but this time for the normals. So we need to grab a UV map, a sample, and a blend. So we're going to go ahead and copy these 3. And this time we're going to plug into the texture, not the color, but the height. So we can go ahead and grab this null and pipe this in here, and then replace the output of there into the equalize. And now we should be seeing that we get our tiling height And if we get any bugs, we can just try and put down a new height to normal. Here we go. And if it's not going to work for us, then I'm just going to go ahead and unpin my current view, and we'll see what issue it's telling us. Can't convert RGB to mono, so what's the issue? Yes, so because this blend here is a green pin, this is quite a good little catch in case you run into this. I need to make sure that I get rid of that so that this is actually seeing it as a mono image, and then I can go back out and visualize the output once more. And then if we look at the output material, we'll see that everything lines up as it should, and I think looks a fair bit better. Except, okay, we are still seeing these straight lines, so we'll come back and we'll talk about how we can get around this later. But for now, let's say that we're happy. So we'll hit render to disk once more, and we'll have a look at our images on disk. And then we'll go over to Unreal and we'll import them into our project. So I'm going to go to Elderwood Materials Scans. I'm going to say and then we can just pull these in to here. And you can just go ahead and grab one of the material instances that already exists in the project, or create your own and rename it. And then we'll just open up this material instance, and we just have to make sure that we then drag all of these new channels onto this texture. And then we can go into the materials little scene that we have created, and we can assign this here and see how it looks. So, okay, something's not looking right, maybe many things. So firstly, the normal map is looking extremely strong and intense, and I think that's kind of messing with us. And potentially it's also, we need to flip the green channel. So let's have a little look. Flip the green channel. Okay, it's a little bit too hard to see with such an intense normal map. So let's go back over to Houdini, go back to the height to normal, bring down that strength way down, see until it looks kind of correct. Re-render that to disk, and then we can re-import it into Unreal. Try and flip the green channel once more. And it's yeah, something's not quite right. So what I'm going to do now, I think I know the issue. It's because it's being brought in, but it has the wrong compression. So that's going to be messing up with our display. So we need to change the compression type to normal map. And then the flip green channel is actually going to make sense as an option. Okay, there we go. That's but this is still not actually been exported correctly. So now we need to go back over to Houdini, and on the normal map here, on this channel, we're actually going to go ahead and set the output to be raw. And we're going to go ahead and export it once more and re-import it again. And now we start to see that we're getting something that's looking a little bit more appropriate. So if we move the light around, there we go. We've now brought that in correctly. Okay, so we've brought it in and it sits next to our other materials, but these ones had a little bit more kind of special spice going into them. So we're going to talk a little bit more about other things we can do to make this look better. And I think that this, if we look at this stone actually, we get a very clear sense that this normal map is inverted, because you can see that the light direction is pointing down, whereas the shadow is coming from the top left. So this currently thinks it's back to front. So if I go ahead and flip the green channel now, then we should be in a better world. But we're definitely getting these like raised bumps. So I think this is a little bit a hard thing to avoid. So we're going to have to deal with it inside of Houdini and flip around the height again. So let's go over to Houdini and give that a quick go. And I'm going to go ahead and flick the invert switch over here. I'm going to get rid of the remap for now, because it looked correct in Houdini, but I think it didn't look correct inside of Unreal. So we're gonna prioritize it looking correct in Unreal. And I'm going to go ahead and re-import that now. And now that strength is much too high, so we're going to bring that way down. And we're going to go ahead and re-import it once more. Okay, now which direction is the light coming from? So now we're going to go ahead and flip the green channel. And do these things still look raised, or do they look like cracks? Okay, these now look like cracks. So I think that was it. I think we've now set this up. Oh no, they don't look like cracks, do they? They definitely don't look like cracks. Yeah, no, we definitely want to not flip it.